Welcome, ladies, to the Love Revolution. My name's Amber Quile Bailani Benici, and I am your pseudo host for the day to introduce the hostess with the mostest, Mia Saenz, who is she's your real host. She's like the queen hostess, and I would be like your princess hostess for what's going on, okay? Today we're gonna dive in. We're gonna talk a little bit about the love revolution, what we've got going on, how you can make the most of it, why we're doing this, and really just kind of create a good foundation for you so that during the rest of this time together that you really just kind of have an anchor, you have a grounding, a sense of purpose of why you're doing this. So before we go there, though, we are going to connect with Mia and find out a little bit more about her. But I'm going to bring a little Amber in here, everybody. Let's take 3 deep breaths together so we can just settle a little bit, okay? So let's inhale in and out. Let's inhale again, releasing anything that came before this time, this sacred time you have, and release it. And one more deep breath, letting go of anything you're worrying about that will come after this. And here we are, present and ready to get going. You ready, Mia?
Yes, I am.
Me too. I'm so ready. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mia. The reason why we tell you about people is because this is why you should listen to these people, right? So this isn't just some random person. Mia is amazing. I've had her on several of my own online retreats and telesummits. She's a wealth of information, and she is really dedicated to women's transformation. She is a spiritual practitioner. She's a transformational love coach. She specializes in self-love, in body love, and relationships. She works with people whose desire is to grow in self-love, relationships, as well as their spiritual path. So she's like the trifecta here. One of her processes is Total Flow Mastery and Beautiful, which is where she connects self-love with feminine essence. And both programs are really powerful ways to connect to yourself, to your divine core. And understanding the self-discovery really brings the ability to manifest, which is where we get to create what we want in our lives, right? So Mia is the founder and editor-in-chief of BellaMia magazine and a transformational and holistic living well magazine, which is, if you haven't checked that magazine out, gotta hook up. It's an amazing magazine. And the other thing about Mia is that she is an amazing hostess. She is a media host. She's been all over. She's got podcasts. She's got interview series. So Mia, welcome to your own.
Welcome to your show.
Welcome to your show.
It's like that story or that introduction from that old show. I think it was like in the 50s, man. Welcome to your life, or maybe it was the 60s. I have no idea.
Somewhere over there. Yeah,
Thank you, Amber, and you're awesome, and this is why I'm so honored that you're hosting this episode, this segment with us. So thank you. And let's share with everybody that we realized this is one of the last pieces to be shot. And so we realized that the camera is acting strange with its lighting. So please forgive us. We did get this backdrop for this series. And in some of the other episodes or segments, you will actually see it. It's beautiful. It's part of what love means to me.
Yeah, it was funny. We were playing with your camera for 10 minutes. I was having you pull out lamps, all sorts of things, so we could see your beautiful face.
Oh.
So let's go ahead and get the ladies started. Women, you've already got yourself going a little bit if you've watched the opening session as far as creating your art journal and kind of creating the sacred container for your work as far as where to take notes and stuff. So be sure that you have your journal, you have your crayons, your markers, whatever stuff you have there as we get going. So let's start off. Love revolution. Okay, when I think revolution, I think maybe this is my mind. I think like cowgirls and pistols and like, yeehaw, you know, probably because I'm a cosmic cowgirl. But
Yes.
that's what came to my mind. So I'm like, love, revolution. Tell me a little bit about like, where did this come from? And yeah, tell me more.
Well, I've been doing shows and series for, gosh, so many years. And it just hit me that I really wanted to bring my Beautiful You, which is the magazine BellaMia was originally Beautiful You, but there's another well-known person out there who has, Danielle Laporte, she has Beautiful You University and all that stuff, so, and a magazine. And I have Beautiful You too, meaning it's also our university or our classroom, our school. So I thought it was about time to actually have us teach what we know, so that it's a classroom feeling brought out to the masses. And what better topic than the one that I love is love. And so for me, love is a movement. Love is a way of life. Love is who we are. And we're here to love more and have our soul be enriched by love. So people often say, Mia, you have a movement going on with the magazine and everything else. Yes, I do. And I didn't think of it that way. I just was bringing information because I feel like I'm a messenger. I was bringing information to the masses. So Love Revolution was very cool. And yes, the URL was available. So I'm like, woohoo!
You are so funny. Spoken like a true businesswoman. Is the URL available?
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. Now, what gave you as far as, creating this series and having these women come together to teach? What was your, inspiration for that? Why do you want to give this offering to the women right now?
Well, this is part of BellaMia magazine as well, so it's sponsored by the magazine. And so I pulled people together primarily who are writers from the magazine. And I pulled you in because I love you, and I think that you're a
superstar.
You are, and you rock, and you have this energy about you that's very magnetic and loving, and it's very healing. So I had wanted you a part of it. There's a few others that don't write for the magazine that are part of it, but it was all brought together just to support women and to love women. So most of it is about self-love, self-discovery, self-care, whether it's our bodies for body love, or whether it's sexual wellness for our vagina, whether it's our internal love. And then, because when we're creative and when we love our life, we are very stimulated. So that's why you taught a segment on art and journaling and healing. And we also have somebody who taught about social media, because that was a big thing. Everybody wants to know a little bit more about social media and how, they can use it better. We have relationship talks and business talks. So, but primarily about self-discovery, and all that is under our self-discovery. As we know ourselves and we grow, we expand more. Our paths open up in different areas that make us become visionaries and masterminds and creators, not just of our life, but our small life, but our big life. This is a big life, and everyone can have a big life if they choose. If they want a small life, that's perfect too. Whatever you want, but make sure that you love it, that you're enjoying it, that your intention is to blast yourself into the stars, more or less. We want to be happy. We want to feel love, and really that all starts with the internal essence of who we are.
I love that. One thing that you teach, Mia, that I think is really different than things I'd heard from others, because I've heard self-love, it's been around for a while. But I love that you talk about conscious self-love, that it's not just about self-love, but they're about making it a conscious practice. And I emailed you, I don't know, it was maybe a month ago. I was like, I just got out of the massage place, and as I was sitting there, I was practicing my conscious self-love and totally thought about you. I was wondering if you could share some about that, because I think that the conscious part of it is really what's going to make this different than other love things going on.
It does. Conscious self-love is more of an elevated state of being, And it's also a faster way to connect to yourself, to love yourself, to really get past that hollow spot within us. A lot of people have an empty spot, and we all have one until we learn how to grow so that it doesn't become empty. I don't want to say fill it, because that's what people do. We fill it with stuff. We don't want to fill it with stuff. We want to be complete with who we are. So conscious self-love is about taking an intention about ourselves, no matter what it is, how magnificent we are. Most people cannot even say I love you about themselves. And if we can't say it about ourselves, how can we truly understand and mean it in a pure way to another person? It's generally in a needy way until we understand it. So the conscious aspect of self-love teachings is to identify with yourself that you love yourself, that you're amazing. Even if you're struggling with that right now, if you can get into a space of there is some point in your life where you felt like you rocked. You know you rocked. Whether you manifested something, a car, a new job, a ton of money, a trip that made you feel good, a night out on the town with the girls, whatever it is, you know you've been in that space at least once in your life where you're just like, whoa, that was amazing. So you bring that same energy of that wow towards you if you're struggling, and use that in the conscious way when you're moving forward. I suggest after the morning ritual that people do, or part of it, as they go and get their coffee or their tea or their hot lemonade, hot lemon water, whatever they're doing, to do it with the intention that they're doing this for themselves, doing this because they are amazing. When we say that to ourselves and we totally understand, I'm doing this coffee because I'm amazing, I'm doing this tea because it makes my body feel good, and I'm worth it. You know, there was that hair dye commercial by L'Oreal years ago, and I'm worth it, you know?
Oh, gotta do it with the hair. Do it with the hair, Mia.
And I'm worth it. So the point is that we are more magnificent than we even realize. And no one will tell us this except ourselves. So when we understand, and I have a fan on because it's really bloody hot, even though I have an air conditioner too. I'm sorry, guys. It's if there's noise and that I keep picking at my face with hair. So the point about conscious self-love is to consciously be aware that we're taking care of ourselves, that we love ourselves, and that we're honoring ourselves. Nobody honors us like us. Nobody loves us like us. Nobody can be there for us but us. Now, when we get this part of it acquired and under control and leading our life, then we can open up truly, unselfishly, with unconditional love to others. And that's where the magnificent thing happens, because when we learn how amazing we are, we see somebody else even more beautiful than we ever could see them before. I see people as souls, as beautiful beings. Yes, do I see humans on the street walking around being silly at times? Of course I do. And I say that instead of saying bad names. But it's more rare that I do, because I bring into my experience what I project out there. And it's not that and maybe it is that I just don't see it, but it's not even in my realm, my being, my state of being someplace. And our lives change too, magnificently. We have more harmony with people that we interact with. We're always going to be interacting with people. We can't just hide in our house. And who wants to? Life is for living. And so when we understand how great, not a false sense of, oh, I'm so great. No, a true sense of why you're great. This is why the teachings are so deep, because we go into all the aspects of how literally magnificent mankind is, and how you are a part of it, how I'm a part of it, and my connection to the divine, or God, or creator, or source, or whatever you want to call your divine being that you believe in. Different cultures have different words for it. Different religions have different essences for it, but it's truly all the same. So when we get rid of that that separateness about separating ourselves from others, and we become more of a group of people who love, everything really changes in our life. Our viewpoints, our tenderness towards others, our tenderness towards ourselves. Money flows. Everything grows. Love, money, relationships. I have become the most wealthiest person in my life. Doesn't mean necessarily, I mean, yes, and my bank account's nice too, but it doesn't mean just my bank account. It means my whole life is rich. My relationships with my children have become very rich and beautiful. My relationships with my girlfriends, with men in my life, with my special man. Even the way I see my cat has grown into a divine relationship, as opposed to, oh, she's just a cat here to serve me. No, I see her, the way she acts and behaves, and at times she's very human-like. And there's a connectedness that's deeper. I appreciate her more. I just appreciate things more. And everyone who studies this type of self-love discovery to grow their self-discovery understands that life becomes magical. We don't see life as just the ho-hum, gotta get through it till the day I die. We say, wow, look what we can do. At one point in my life, I lived in Miami and Los Angeles at the same time. Well, not in the same moment, but I am incredible. No, I lived by coastal, and that was one of my dreams. Before meeting my husband, I had wanted to live by coastal, so I had just declared to the universe, I'm waiting for the right man to come in, and I'm going to live by coastal. And that's what happened, in order for us to be together until we married and moved to one location. And still we commute to two locations because we like it. We set these paths for ourselves. We create our life. We don't just let it happen to us. Sometimes you might have met people who have gone to, through college or stuff, and they just say, oh, I'm going to go to Europe and I'm going to travel the world. And they do. And they come back so much richer because they've met their goal. They've lived their dream. Now they have to create another one to keep moving forward, because that's what we do. When we stop, we're stagnant. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did, my love. A couple of things that you mentioned. I'm been doodling and coloring here while you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you all my pretty pictures so far.
And is what Amber does.
Here's my conscious self-love.
It's beautiful. So everybody grab your journal, because remember, we talked about journaling before. And then...
Yeah. So you can color and take notes at the same time. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
What I loved about, specifically what women can do during this process is even just when when they're clicking the link to watch the video, it's this is an act of self-love, reminding ourselves, women, it's yes, this is an act of self-love.
Yeah.
Grabbing my journal, this is an act of self-love. Closing my door, telling my family I'm unavailable for the next 30 minutes. That's I'm doing this because I love myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this kind of shake thing I'm drinking, so I'm doing this because I love myself. So.
And I have my lavender lemonade that I gave you guys a recipe for.
You're doing it because you love yourself. So it's each of these moments when I was sitting on a massage table and thinking of Mia, it was because I was sitting here and feeling the hands on my shoulders thinking, I love myself so much, I'm gifting myself this. And it's such a simple thing, and so, but please don't overlook it, because this changes everything. Mm-hmm. So I love that you talked about that. So the conscious self-love piece. Next, we started talking about manifestation and creating things, and which is absolutely true, that when we love ourselves, it's we ooze yumminess. I mean, what it's like to be around someone who is a drag, it's you walk around there, they're a gloomy cloud, and you're I don't want to hang out with that person. And
I used to be in love with a person like that. He was happy part of the time, and part of the time he was totally depressed. Yeah.
And it's we can feel that in our bodies. And I know for me, when I'm around someone who's not saying that we need to be bubbly, but we can sense when there's this love, when there's this flow happening. And it's almost, I think it was we're turning on a magnet, and then we're sucking. Our love magnet is sucking things to us. So I love that you talked about that by setting our intention and manifesting, that comes from love. Mm-hmm. And that's part of creating the life of what we want.
Mm-hmm. Part of the manifesting, which is in the total flow mastery that I've created and taught, is through my life as a metaphysician and my healing through self-love starting 27 years ago. and just doing a lot of prayer. And we used to call it demonstrating when I was a young child and woman, when we would manifest things or have healing. So part of Total Flow Mastery is conscious self-love, understanding fear, shifting our mindset to manifest. So what that looks like to manifest with the self-love is we have to be aware that when things come up, and they will, in our face, we have to understand where they're coming from and why they're coming from us. We take it back to the core root of fear. The core essence of fear is death. When you think about it, that's really the thing that humans are afraid of, is dying. So everything stems, the fear base stems from that. So if you can analyze it or look at it and say, okay, so my boyfriend's mad at me. Is that going to kill me? No. So you start to work it back and become less and less fearful. Or money. A lot of people have issues with money. Am I going to die because I'm short on my rent or I'm short on this or that? No, I'm not. So you start to break away the fear and understand it to empower you. Now constantly, and this is my favorite part. You know, it used to be conscious self-love, which is true too, but the mindset is amazing. For the last 2 years, I've spent night and day practicing my mindset, and it has changed my life tremendously. It has elevated me for clients. It has created these masses of projects that I'm able to complete as a one woman with a small team of people who work for me. I mean, we do more than, I know that sounds crazy, I'm not trying to self-promote here, but we do more than I've seen most people do with projects and stuff. And that all comes from understanding that I can do it. This is my path. This is part of my life. So I get rid of the fear and I focus in on what I want, what I'm creating, whether it's bringing in clients, whether it's creating the magazine for smoothness, whether it's creating a project for, say, Love Revolution. This came upon my 40-hour-a-week magazine that I spend, and that's over 7 days, not 5. And I'm not promoting, time and like that, because there has been times in my life before the magazine came that I actually was very, on a flex thing that Amber and I know, where you take off so many days a week and all that. And I do. I take out time in my day. My point is that we can do anything we want without stressing ourselves out. This can be for you moms. I'm a mom too. My kids are in their 20 and almost 23 now. So they're at a different level. I'm not there mommying them. But as a mom, we get stressed out. We've got our kids, we've got their life, we have our husbands or our mates, and we have work if that's what we want to do, or painting, or a job, or whatever. So using your mindset and your self-love totally puts us in that flow that we can acquire stuff in a peaceful way. My children and I are closer now than we ever have been. Probably not than when they were teeny weeny babies and they relied upon me for everything. But the closeness and the respect is amazing. I even get respect from my ex-husband that I'm shocked at, because he used to laugh at my work. And now he's just like, I didn't know what I was laughing at. You're amazing, everything that you do. And he comes to me for business questions, which is really cool, So creating our life through conscious self-love, understanding fear, and working our mindset and our focus. And that includes our meditations. That includes having a morning ritual, doing what you need to do for yourself, however many times a day you need to do it. I do it 2 times a day. I used to do it 3 times a day. I would start out my morning with my meditation, and then I would go exercise on my walks, doing my mindset and my focus. Then during the middle of the day for lunch, I would stop and take an hour to eat and meditate and focus. And then at night I would do it. Now that's a lot for people. This was my choice to be able to grow the way I did. But putting even 15 minutes for yourself twice a day, or even breaking that down to 7.5 minutes twice a day, you're worth it. You're amazing. Even if it's in your shower, take time while you're showering or bathing in order to do your mindset work, to do your gratitude work on your body. That's part of it too, is to love our body, our human body, so that our self-love, our human body can blend and our soul can be revealed. So when you're in the shower, you do your honor bath work, which is what I teach too, and all that is being really grateful, using some kind of a yummy, luscious cleanser, whether it should be organic if you can, As you're washing yourself, you're looking at your hands and you're admiring them. Wow, I get to paint, I get to draw, I get to type. And my arms, I look at them, I love you because I can hold people and hug people that I love. My breasts, I love my breasts. My tummy held my babies. My bum, men like, so I like it too. My legs, I can dance, I can play, I can run, I can walk. So being grateful for the things. And now I've included, and I've been doing projects with other women, like vagina love, being grateful for my vagina. We ignore our vagina and our feet. We totally do. So when you clean yourself with a non-toxic product and you're giving gratitude, because this is where our creation starts. This is where we have babies. We're magnificent as women. We can carry babies. We're the only, female creatures carry babies. Males can't. We need men, and they're amazing. But utilize that strength. If that's all you can get at first, is that you're a woman and how amazing you are, because there's all these abilities that you have, and explore them, such as the vagina love, which is, just every so often, you might even just pat her on the outside of your pants. I love you, until you get familiar. Your feet, your feet. Rub your feet or have somebody give you a nice foot massage at night with lotion, and just be so grateful and grounded and realize that the foundation of our life is in symmetry with the foundation of our feet. If you tend to get feet problems, look at your life. They always say there's a similarity, there's a reflection from the human aspect into our life. So our feet are our foundation. So just loving our body also. So if you want to do your focus, your mindset, your gratitude work on yourself, do it in the shower too. I'm just pointing out that there's places to do it. There's places while you're cooking. Cook in happiness, in love, in joy, because just like Dr. Emoto's theory, where if you talk nice to water or your food and you freeze the water and you look at the crystals and they're gorgeous, you talk angry to water and you freeze it and you look at the crystals, you cut it and you look at the crystals and they're a mangled mess. Same with what we put into our body. Being loving and grateful when you're preparing the food for your family or yourself. My husband won't even eat food that I make unless, if I'm angry, he's like, forget it, just stop it, time out. So it's really important to show ourselves in these little loving, gentle ways. And I'd like to say that early childhood is the foundation of who we are. So from 0 to 8, I say 0 to 12, but in psychology it's 0 to 8. So these are the years that make us who we are. If you've had trauma, understand that it's going to produce drama when you're older, because we tend to need, and I went through this too, we tend to need that connection. Earlier in the talk, we talked about that hole in our stomach, that space in our gut that is hollow and we need to fill it. So sometimes people go out and buy a lot, or they eat, or whatever it is that fills that space. And I'm not saying just because somebody's heavy that they eat to fill a space. That's not the truth, because everybody's body works differently. What I'm saying is there's an emptiness within humans until we learn how to fill it spiritually. So even that emptiness within ourselves can be healed. Everything works together in a beautiful pattern. Why not work on you, as we all do? Why not, or I'll say, why not work on me? I love working on me. It's my favorite thing to do.
Me too. Oh my gosh. First of all, I love that. It's like this is your tweetable here, as Marie Forleo does. Your trauma produces drama. Love that.
It does.
Paying attention to that. And yes, just about like the little moments of time, the little things. In Hawaiian tradition, we're big on intention, and that when we make leis, we make sure that all of our thoughts are pono, everything's right. We cannot make leis with like bitterness or any anger or yelling at our kids, like, or any bad words over our leis. It's like very important that we keep the love flowing. So I love that you said about eating food. Same thing, same.
It is, yeah.
And And you've taught me about body. I love you and your body. I remember watching one of your videos of you like in a bubble bath, like actually in a bathtub, ladies. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. I'm sure it's on your YouTube channel here. So go search for her bathtub video. And so she's actually in a bathtub, you know, with like bubbles, with her, you know, her luscious breasts, you know, not showing, but enough, you know, where I'm like, I love Mia's breasts. And so you've inspired me to wear my
You look beautiful.
my top with my brown breast today. But so, gosh, we could talk forever, Mia.
We could. I see. Wow, we have.
Right? I know. So, so for ladies, just kind of to wrap it up, we've talked about, you know, why we're doing this. We talked about being able to take like moments, conscious self-love for yourself. You know, taking the drink, you know, clicking the thing, just being really aware of how many times you're loving yourself throughout the day. And then also looked at, we looked at creating, manifesting, looking at how to, you know, take that fear and really look at it and be like, okay, is this totally true? What I'm thinking, am I going to die from this? No. Looking at how to shift mindset in that way. And then the end, we talked about little moments throughout the day, that there are times, little moments that you can't take long periods of time for your ritual, finding ritual spaces in the kitchen, in the shower, if you're a mom with kids, in the bathroom, in the toilet, you know.
And if you're driving, pull over to the side and just do your breathing for a few minutes if you can't do it while you're driving, just to center yourself. We can find these moments, Amber, can't we? All the time.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm a mom of young kids, so if you're a mom, it's really important for us to do this, or we turn into like the evil mom, you know, the kind that's like, and our kids are like, and none of us want to be that mom, you know. We all are at certain points, but none of us want to be that way. So this is for us, but it really does connect to everybody else. So
it does.
Yeah. So I know that you had something, you touched briefly talking a little bit about your programs and about Beautiful and all that kind of stuff. And I know that we have this exciting, you know, retreat we're doing together, but you have something special for our people. Like, you're already doing this retreat for them, but you're like, oh, I'm a giver, so I'm just going to give so much love. What else loving things are you giving us?
Yes, when the retreat ends and you'll all get information, we're going to have a live training session, which makes it sound like, come to work and we'll train you. So we're going to have a live session where we can go through the self-discovery and self-love stuff. I love to do these because there are many people who can't take the courses just because they feel they can't afford it or whatever. And this gives you guys an opportunity to actually ask me questions. My favorite thing is Q&A. I teach always. I call myself a teacher, and I am, because I teach. That means when I'm talking with you, if you have a question, not in the middle of a lecture talking part, but when you do ask a question, I answer it. I help you get from point A to point B the best way that I know how. And when I do teach my classes, I actually say, okay, so, you know, I mean, even when it's a group of 12, I don't like to take more than 13 women, but even when it's a group of, you know, and this is why I keep it smaller, because then I can say, so-and-so, how's your mirror work coming along? So-and-so. To somebody else, how's your meditation, your inner child meditation? And we all learn from each other. You know, there are times, I've not met one person in my group classes that haven't had that ability to share and talk like that, because they want to. We learn from each other. Life is experiential. We often learn from somebody else's mistakes, and so we can say, oh, I'm struggling with that too. Okay, this is how they got through it. I'm going to try it and see if it works. And so in the teaching and in this session that I want to do with you guys, I'll be there to actually say, if you say, Mia, I've been doing your mirror work and I'm just not having a breakthrough because of blah, 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 I can say, oh, try it this way. So when I work with my one-on-one clients, we tweak stuff all the time. There is not one size fits all. You know, everything is custom tweaked, and I do that with my classes. So hop on this you know, free class that we're going to teach, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Amber.
Ladies, you have to hop on, because I want to just, I don't know if Mia would tell you this, But this is like one-on-one time she spends with her one-on-one clients, which pay a lot of money. So this is like a free opportunity for you to like pick her brain, like the brain of awesomeness. You have to show up. So sending you love and like an extra boost. Oh, let's do this.
That's awesome.
All right. So we're going to wrap it up, but I want you guys to hop on in. Mia, you want to share a little bit about the group as far as the online group in case they don't know about it?
Yes. So you will have already had a link to join our online group. And what that is we can talk about things in our daily sessions that are going on. When we get to Amber's section, I wish I had it here. I'll show it to you when we have Amber's video that she does. But how Amber gave you guys the talk about how to prepare your journal and how she just showed you. I created my first journal ever, and I'm so excited.
It's beautiful.
I'm so excited. So it's really marvelous because these classroom settings, we can actually answer questions and get in conversation. Conversation brings sisterhood and it brings self-growth. So come on over and let's have some fun.
Yeah. So one thing that you can do today is the links below us where you, if you haven't joined yet, to click and to join. And what we're going to do is I want you to share in the group one way that you are using conscious self-love today, or like one, like you're kind of like making a dedication to yourself. Like, okay, today I'm going to do this, and make it super small so it's like you can do it, right? So you don't beat yourself up about it. We don't want to be self-deprecating. Right. But how can you today do one thing that you're just going to really bring consciousness to as far as ways that you're taking care of yourself, and share that in the group, and maybe you'll give each other ideas. You're like, oh, I do that too. I'm loving myself in that way too, and I didn't even realize it. So that's a great way to do it. And you can also snap pictures of your journal, boom, post them in the group, and share your note-taking sessions, or any images that come up, and we'd love to see that too. And if you have any questions for Mia, just go ahead, type on in there. You can tag her, write Mia, and her name will pop up, and or anyone, any of the other speakers, and there you go.
Awesome.
Mia, this has been wonderful. We're kicking it off, ladies. Woo-hoo!
We are. Yes, thank you. So, thank you, Amber, and we'll see you all in another segment.